Hi friends, and welcome. My name is Erica, and I am an early childhood educator, and I'm also a child care center owner. I've been in business 24 years, and I am still passionate about the field of early childhood as well as the child care business. And whether you are a child care center or child care home, or you're aspiring to be either of those, you've come to the right place. I love to share what it is that I've learned over the years to help you to succeed. So, today we're talking about a question that I get all the time, and it stems from talking with people about childcare businesses, their likes and dislikes, and some of the things that they're having that are presenting as challenges in their businesses. And so here's one of those questions, and that is, how do I navigate parents who are complaining or parents who don't seem happy with my childcare business? And this is a big one because your parents are your customers. Yes, the children are the most important, but their parents are the ones who make the decision on enrolling with you and your business. So let's talk about this a little bit. When it comes to parents being upset or disgruntled, a lot of times what I have found over the years is it's because of miscommunication. So often parents are just parents. They want the best for their children, and they chose you because they thought you would be the best, and I'm sure you are. And sometimes when things happen, just normal things, this will cause some challenging situations within your childcare businesses, and you will have to communicate with a parent who may not be as happy as you would like for them to be with your services. So I have found over the years that if you can break down the barriers of communication and keep a steady flow of information for the parents, as well as open communication, this will help to eliminate some of those times that can be tense and concerning in your business when it comes to your parents. What I mean by this is having information available to the parents when they first present to your center is key. You want to make sure that you are organized, and you want to make sure that you have your policies and procedures for just about every situation you can think of in a child care center. And so that's why I talk about enrollment a lot and your practices and procedures for enrollment. You want to give your parents as much information as you can when they enroll, so that they know what you expect and what is expected of them when they decide to enroll their child or children in your facility. Now, the next thing is it's a two-way street. You want to make sure that you ask them questions, and you want to know exactly what it is that they expect of you and of your business and from your staff. So when we do that, we've created a situation that will allow us to have open dialogue about our expectations. So some things that you want to make sure you are including when you offer that parent a tour of your business and you get ready to enroll them is your late fee policies. That's always a big one. That causes a lot of tension in childcare businesses, whether home or center. That late fee policy will make a believer out of you as a business, that you must have very detailed policies and procedures for your late fees, as well as your your cutoff times in the morning. That's another one that I hear so often, that parents really have a hard time with that if they didn't know. I am willing to tell you that 99% of the time, if you have told your parents what you expect about the things that they have a problem with, they won't even have a problem with it so long as they have been educated on what that thing is. So let's get back to drop-off times. Many centers have a cutoff time. I would be willing to say most of them do. And that's in the morning. And we need that because we have to have a daily schedule that is conducive to the children learning and playing in a way that is consistent every day. Having interruptions of children coming and going at any time can be a distraction, and we don't want that. And we want to make sure that our children are eating at a certain time, they're napping at a certain time, they're learning at a certain time, they're going outdoors at a certain time. And to have a schedule that includes a cutoff time is the way that you keep that daily consistency for your staff and your children. So when people enroll with you, you let them know this is our time, and we do not accept children after such and such time. Another thing that you might want to include is your breakfast time. If your breakfast time coincides with your cutoff time for drop-off, make sure they're aware of that at such and such and such a time in the morning, our kitchen closes for breakfast. Now, that doesn't mean if you have a child that you just for some reason accept that day and they haven't eaten that you won't feed them. Of course you will, but you don't want that to be your practice. You want your parents to know that we have a cutoff time, and if you come at such and such a time and breakfast is already over, we hope that little Johnny has eaten because that's over and we're now preparing for lunch. So you want to make sure that you verbalize this as well as have this in a written policy that they are aware of and they sign. That's a pro tip. The next thing is when it comes to that late fee, you want to make sure that your documentation is concise with that late fee policy. You close at such and such a time, and if you pick your child up after such and such a time, here are the consequences. And you want to lay that thing out so that they know what happens when they are late. Make sure when you are enrolling your families, because you're enrolling the whole family, not just the child, that you talk to them about that late fee policy, because it's important and it's a part of your program. Your staff are ready to go at a certain time. Some of them have children to pick up. Some of them have outside things that they must do at a certain time. And when parents come late, that is a real burden on your staff because they have outside commitments. And you want to kind of address that when you are talking to them during enrollment, and you want to make them very aware of the consequences of them coming late, whether it is late fees or at a certain time you go to your next step, which would be alternative arrangements for care. Some people address the police station and all sorts of other things as secondary care once they have hit a certain time of not picking up. And so the next thing is you want to make sure that your parents are consistently updating their contact people. So you have emergency pickup people on your enrollment forms, your contact forms, and all of that. Make sure your parents are aware that this is so important in case of an emergency or in case of situations where they may have something going on and they cannot pick their child up. They want to have good, reliable people on their pickup list that are recognized by them in your center on the form, so that when that person comes, you are able to identify them. They can hand you their ID. You talk to the parent, of course, to make sure that this person should be picking little Johnny up and go from there. Now, they may come late, but the parent still needs to know, even if my emergency pickup person comes, do I have a late fee? That should be in your contract, yes or no. If my emergency person comes and they're 15 minutes late, do I pay for that 15 minutes? Have that laid out, then the confusion won't be there. And I guarantee you, communication will get better the more precise you are about giving them information about your daily operations, because they will know what to expect once again, and you know what they expect of you. And those are some of the things that I see are a bone of contention when it comes to parent and provider communication. And a lot of times it's just a misunderstanding because those things were not addressed initially. And whenever you change your policies, you can't just change them in your head. You must give them the information in writing and have them sign for your revision. So if you've decided that now your cutoff time for breakfast is going to be 9:30 and it used to be 9 o'clock, you need to make them aware of that. And I would suggest you have a sign. Then you have a written form that goes out in your newsletter or at pickup time that they sign either at the counter, or they can take it home and bring it back the next day with a signature. And then you talk to them a little bit about it. And if you are on social media, it might be a good idea to post it as a reminder. Then you can say, well, did you hear about it? Did you see it? Did you sign it? Those are some ways to make sure that your parents are getting all of the information from you for the center so that parent communication remains steady and open. And I hope that this will help you when you are planning your child care businesses or when you are updating your rules and procedures and policies, that you think about just kind of overdoing the explanations on certain things so that they have it in writing. And when questions come up, you can always refer to your parent handbook, or you can refer to the documentation that you have given to support some of the rules and changes that you are making in your center. So I got to get back to getting my nails done, and I hope this helps.
So friends, if you have any questions about the child care business, leave them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them when I see them. And I hope that this video helped you when it comes to getting those policies and procedures together. I thought I would bring you with me while I was getting ready to get my nails done. I had a little extra time. And so I wanted to talk about this because these are some of the questions that I get all the time. See you soon. Oh, and if you already haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe.